Positive week, Coach. You've gotten your practice time in.
Yeah, it's a fun week. I love the week, and I thought the theme was great. Those last few weeks have been tough. So much at stake, trying to win the regular season, and you're going up against Clemson and NC State and Florida State, and everybody's jockeying for position and trying to host or trying to put themselves in the postseason. So, as I said a few weeks ago, man, those last few weeks were a grind. Just playing NCAA type competition, and as Sutton said, I mean, you probably saw a little bit of everything. We got up on a few teams and played with the lead, but we got down a handful of times. So if anything, that's probably good practice, for our players. Just we were in a lot of different situations throughout the year, but especially the last few weeks.
Talk about those situations, not to downgrade the conferences before, but it is different because the competition level was week in and week out so much stronger this year in the conference.
Yeah, and we approached it like that, and especially those last few weeks, even our midweek games, it was just these are NCAA type teams, and it was a long year. So I was proud of the way we finished and how consistent we were, and ready to enjoy a new season. The postseason is a new season, and our kids have done a good job. And a couple questions are asked, Omaha National Championship, but that's the first time they've mentioned that in the past few weeks. That's not something we talk about a lot in the beginning of the year. It's definitely our goals, but it's not something that we talk a whole lot during the year. It's about, be where your feet are, and we've done a good job of really respecting our opponent and realizing why these 64 teams are still playing, and to get ready to play good baseball and get off to a good start.
What have you seen from Funk this week?
Enjoy the moment, like we've told them. This is we wouldn't be here, without Funk's contributions. What he's done the last few years, it's been fun to watch. So just want him to go out there, trust his stuff, compete. I know Coach Williams is excited, and he's always done a great job of getting that pitching staff, ready to compete in the postseason. So, like he's always done, just set the tone, attack the zone, be aggressive, and be ready to make plays behind him.
Have you liked how he's looked in practice this week?
Yeah, this is a game. You can't get too serious. You got to enjoy it. I mean, this is a game, and it's a tough game. Everything's not going to go your way. That's what makes it great. So you got to show your toughness and competitiveness, and I wouldn't want to flip the ball to anybody else.
And when you have a kid, like Funk, who comes up to you and says, look, it's all anybody wants to talk about, the draft, all that stuff, and it's around this time of year, the most important time. Are you glad that, hey, he was willing to come up to you guys and at least share his thoughts and get that out of the way, so now, the focus is back on what lies ahead?
Yeah, and it's just the culture of college baseball, and fortunately for Funk, he was a freshman when Dace Kime and Jeffrey Thompson and Chad Green, and we had all those players, Iggy, Engel, Coco. I'm going to forget somebody who got drafted on that class. They're going to get mad at me. I mean, there was a lot of guys that got drafted, and so it's good for the freshmen to experience that. And then as a sophomore, you experienced it with Nick Birdie last year and that whole crew. And so, I'm more in tune, hoping that the Brendan McKays and the Colby Fitches and the Devin Harristons and the Lincoln Hensons, all the young guys get to see what Funk and Josh and all those guys are going through. It's a part of college baseball. So it's something that we have to deal with every year.
Are you glad that he came to you and said, let's get this out of the way so we can focus on what I have to do on the mound to make this?
Yeah, it's just our job as coaches to reach out to your players and see how their mental state is and help them through this. As I told the coaches, we take it for granted sometimes because we've been through this for 20-plus years. These guys, they go through it once, and you just want them to enjoy it. Don't make more of what it is. And the challenging thing with baseball, it's one of those things you can't necessarily try harder. You can't try to do too much. It's a tough game. I mean, just trust your ability and do what you do, and out there and have fun. It's a kid's game.
You bring it up to the guy. You've got so many guys that potentially could get drafted. Do you bring it up to them? And how different is it? Because I mean, Coach Pitino or Coach Petrino is not going to have to do that right before the biggest time of their year. I mean, it's such a weird thing in your sport.
Yeah, it's something that we talk about, and it's an open door policy, and we don't shy away from it. We're not one of those. We understand the dreams of these young men and wanting to play in the big leagues. We take a lot of pride in helping them get ready to succeed in pro ball. So, like I've always said, I'd rather be in this situation with kids concerned about the draft and playing during the draft, and I'd rather be one of those schools. And so it's just part of it, and so we try not to get stressed out about it or make it more than it is. We want them to enjoy it.
What-
What are your thoughts on just the kind of crazy stats, hitting stats that Moorhead has?
Yeah, just an older club, some junior college kids, physical, I've known Mike a long time and great coach, and he's done a great job with those guys, and you could tell there's balance in their lineup, and usually one hitter affects the next and the next and the next, and so they've just got that continuity there where guys are lifting each other up, that they're feeding off of each other's success. So but it's what you expect at this time of the year. You're going to get the best offenses, the best pitching staffs, the best teams are playing.
Coach, looking at your roster, I'm noticing a lot of the top guys are from Illinois. Is there something in the water there? Is it just a prime place for recruiting?
It's for us, it's a regional thing. We take a lot of pride in Kentucky and Louisville and the state of Kentucky, and then we go north. For us, it's been Ohio and Indiana and Illinois and Pennsylvania and Missouri and Wisconsin and Minnesota. I mean, we're about 5 to 7 hours, and pull all those kids down from the Midwest, and our goal is to win a national championship with kids from the Midwest. I think that's going to be really cool. Tough kids, multi-sport kids, hard-working kids. So it's done well in our program.
And those numbers that